The denial. The broadcast reached every screen on Earth. From the towering arcologies of Neo-Tokyo to the scorched sands of the Saharan solar fields, billions watched in silence as the Galactic Council's decision echoed across the stars. The species known as Homo sapiens of Sol 3 is hereby denied entry into the Galactic Council. The voice was alien, mechanical, yet somehow dripping with condescension. It belonged to Council Speaker Vrexel of the Threx Dominion, a six-limbed, chitin-armored aristocrat whose people had held a seat on the Council for nearly 12,000 cycles. Earth's ambassador, Elena Ruiz, stood alone on the circular platform hovering in the center of the Grand Assembly. Her expression was unreadable as thousands of alien dignitaries watched from their thrones, pods, and perches. Her eyes flicked to the glowing seal of denial projected in blood red above her head. "We have met every requirement," she said, her voice firm despite the tension. "Technological parity, planetary unity, post-scarcity economy. We've even contributed solutions to 2 major galactic plagues. Why are we being refused?" A ripple of amusement passed through the chamber. Speaker Vrexel leaned forward. "Your kind is unrefined, aggressive, loud. You bring instability wherever you go. You lack the temperament for interstellar diplomacy." A chorus of approving murmurs echoed from the other delegates, avian, crystalline, amorphous. Only a few watched in silence, their expressions unreadable. Ruiz didn't flinch. "And yet, we've survived. We've thrived. Every obstacle we've faced, we've overcome." Vrexel hissed in mock sympathy. "Yes, you've certainly demonstrated a talent for survival, but we are architects of order, not chaos." A pause. Then, Earth is dismissed. With a crackle of shimmering light, her platform descended from the chamber's center. Ruiz's image vanished from the broadcast. On Earth, the silence broke into outrage. News feeds erupted. Protests filled the streets. Memes and fury spread across the networks like wildfire. But amidst the chaos, a quieter conversation began. Inside war rooms, research labs, and encrypted diplomatic channels. A conversation no longer about joining the galactic community, but about reshaping it. 10 days later, General Amir Kauri stood in the Situation Dome beneath Olympus Mons, deep within the Martian defense complex. Around him, top military and scientific minds from across Earth's factions watched the data feeds scrolling across the curved wall. He spoke calmly, but there was fire in his voice. "They refused us a seat," he said. "They mocked us. They think we're too primitive, too unpredictable." He tapped a control pad. A galactic map bloomed to life in the air, pinpoints of light showing the locations of council stations, trade routes, and military fleets. "So we stop asking," he said. "No more petitions. No more waiting." He turned to face the room. "We take the table." A murmur ran through the crowd. Admiral Kessler of the Pacific Orbital Fleet crossed her arms. "You're suggesting we declare war on the entire council?" Kauri shook his head. "No. That would be suicide." He tapped again. A new overlay appeared, dozens of isolated outposts, relay stations, mining operations. "We hit the cracks in the foundation. Disrupt supply chains. Expose corruption. Support insurgent species. Make ourselves indispensable." Dr. Lee, chief strategist for the Lunar AI Consortium, smiled faintly. "Subversion instead of confrontation." Kauri nodded. "Guerrilla diplomacy." The room fell quiet. Then, slowly, the nodding began. Earth had been denied. Now it would respond in the only way it knew how, by fighting back smarter, faster, and harder than anyone expected. The response? The stars never slept. But now, they whispered of Earth. It began with silence. No formal declarations, no fleet mobilizations, no planetary sieges. Just a series of coincidences. A Threx cargo convoy carrying high-grade antimatter fuel went missing near the edge of the Caparan Drift. The Black Nova mercenaries, known enforcers for the Council, suffered a total data blackout after entering an abandoned Terran research station orbiting Tau Ceti. A minor rebellion on the Council-controlled world of Karul, 5 suddenly gained access to advanced weapons and tactical advisors fluent in over 70 alien dialects. The Council began to notice. But they didn't understand. Earth wasn't playing their game. Earth was rewriting the rules. Mars, Olympus Mons Command Complex. In a cavernous chamber beneath the Martian crust, the Earth Strategic Intelligence Corps, codenamed Aurora, ran simulations at 1,000 times real-time speed. On massive holoscreens, war games unfolded, diplomacy simulations spun, and psychological models of every major Council species updated by the minute. Aurora was the product of decades of AI advancement, fed the entire history of human conflict, innovation, and betrayal. It had one mission now, to turn Earth's weakness into advantage. It had one message for its operators. Decentralize. Disrupt. Dominate. General Cowrie stood with his arms behind his back as the system highlighted the next wave of targets: 3 supply hubs, a surveillance network, and a communications array linking Council sectors. They still see us as a rogue species, he said. Dr. Lee, now Earth's chief strategist, nodded. Let's be what they fear. Until they realize we're something far worse. Necessary. Planet, Vekari Prime, Council-controlled mining colony. Council enforcement troops marched through the slums of Vekari Prime, a resource-rich planet worked by indentured species considered too volatile for Council membership. The Council called it stability. Earth called it slavery. When the Council guards entered Warehouse 17B, they didn't expect the trap. A low hum triggered a disruption pulse. The guards dropped, stunned. The workers watched as the doors opened again, and humans stepped in, clad in stealth composite armor, bearing weapons tuned to avoid lethal force. "Who are you?" a Vekari elder rasped. The human team leader pulled off his helmet. "Friends," he said. "You want to be free?" The elder's eyes narrowed. "That is a dangerous word." The human handed him a device. "So is ally. We're offering something the Council won't: equality." Within hours, the uprising had begun, and Earth had gained its first interstellar allies. Earth, United Command, Geneva Arcology. Ambassador Elena Ruiz addressed the gathered global assembly, not just Earth's leaders, but representatives from Mars, Luna, the orbital colonies, and even the new settlements on Europa. "This is no longer about revenge," she said. "This is about transformation. The Council runs an empire of fear, of hierarchy, of exclusion." She turned to the live feed showing the liberation of Vekari Prime. "We will offer what they never could. And in doing so, we will not just earn our place. We will define it." Applause thundered. But beyond the celebration was resolve. Earth was no longer a bystander. Human ships, operating under stealth protocols and protected by bleeding-edge technology, now moved through Council space like shadows. Trade deals were struck with minor species in secret. Terran advisors appeared wherever there was unrest. The Council scrambled to respond, but they were used to fighting empires, not movements. And they had underestimated the fury of a species forged in struggle. Deep space, edge of Council territory. A sleek Terran ship drifted in the void, silent and cloaked. Inside, a small strike team watched the transmission from Earth. It was a message meant for all humans deployed across the stars. Elena Ruiz's voice echoed across the cabin. "They denied us a seat. They denied our voice. But remember, we do not need their table. We are building our own." The strike leader, Captain Rios, tightened the strap on his vest. Time to shake the legs out from under theirs. The Reckoning. Galactic Year 9021. The Council core world of Veltrax. Panic. That was the only word to describe the atmosphere inside the Council chambers. Delegates shouted across languages, across species. Emergency lights strobed red through the marble and crystal dome as defense protocols initiated for the first time in 6 millennia. They had lost 6 border sectors in less than a year. Minor species were seceding from council control, some even forming their own coalitions. Trade routes had collapsed. Council fleets were being harassed, disrupted, humiliated by an enemy that had never once announced its arrival. And now, one of Earth's stealth dreadnoughts hovered above Veltrax's outer moon, completely undetected until it broadcasted one simple message. "You should have let us in." Earth, Geneva Arcology, United Planetary Council. Elena Ruiz stood in front of the largest unified audience humanity had ever seen. Humans, Vekari, Trelzan, and dozens of other newly liberated species watched the address from across the stars. Her expression was calm, controlled, but the fire behind her words was unmistakable. The Galactic Council sought to preserve peace by exclusion. They feared change, feared challenge, feared us. She gestured to the screen behind her, which showed a live feed of peaceful protests on dozens of Council-aligned worlds, species now emboldened by Earth support. But peace built on fear is not peace. It is silence. Submission. She stepped forward. "We have shown them that humanity does not wait for permission. We do not bow. We do not break." Now she looked directly into the camera. "You denied us a seat. So we took the whole damn table. And now, we're inviting everyone else." Council Chambers, Veltrax. Speaker Vrexel trembled behind his podium. "This is madness," he hissed. "They're tearing the Order apart." Across the chamber, Councillor Giluan of the crystalline Chrysari floated serenely. Her species had secretly negotiated with Earth weeks ago. "Perhaps the Order was flawed," she said. "Perhaps Earth did not tear it down. Perhaps they simply showed us the cracks." A burst of static interrupted the session. Elena Ruiz's hologram shimmered into view, projected by an intercepted diplomatic channel. "Councillors," she said, "we are not here to destroy your council. We are here to replace it." Gasps. Outrage. She raised a hand for silence. "We now control nearly a third of the Outer Rim's trade and security. Our allies grow daily. Our influence spreads not through war, but through justice. You can resist and crumble, or you can evolve with us." Then, for a moment, her voice softened. "Humanity does not seek dominance. We seek a future where no species is left behind. But know this, if you try to silence us again, you will find that Earth is done whispering." The hologram faded. Outer Colonies, Planet Karul, 5. Children of different species played in the fields outside the new Inter-World Academy. Flags bearing Earth's sigil flew beside those of a dozen other species. An old Vekari farmer, watching them, turned to the Terran aid worker beside him. "You really think this will last?" he asked. The human shrugged. "We didn't come to conquer. We came to build something better." The farmer squinted toward the sky, where Terran and alien ships patrolled in tandem. "Well," he said, "maybe you folks really are as crazy as the Council feared." The human laughed. "Probably. But crazy's what got us this far." Final log. Aurora mainframe, Mars. Mission status, active. Council influence, diminishing. Human-led alliance status, expanding. Conclusion: we did not take the table for ourselves. We flipped it. And we built a better one. Epilogue. Decades later, historians would look back on the moment Earth was denied a seat as the single greatest mistake the Galactic Council ever made. Because they hadn't just rejected a species. They had awakened a force. They had awakened humanity. And humanity had responded the only way it knew how. Not with silence, but with revolution.